Evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this post-match press conference. Just a reminder, please, to ensure your mobile phones are all either on mute or vibrate, and ensure you've got a microphone in your hand before you ask a question. Who'd like to go first? Thanks, Fidel.
Adam, 4 wickets after the campaign Australia's had that had to feel good on some level.
Yeah, it feels okay. Like, you come into these games, it's a bonus to get some wickets and come up with a win, but I reckon I'd probably be feeling exactly the same if I got none for tonight. Feeling pretty hollow, to be honest. Like, it's, again, you'd prefer to have the wickets than not, but it's probably the worst feeling fourth I've ever got.
When did that feeling set in?
Probably when there was about 13 to win against Sri Lanka, and I was bowling that over. Felt like the game was done, so it's been a tough few days. Higher expectations of ourselves, of myself, what we've built as a group over the last 2 years, the way we've played. We've played some really good bilateral cricket, so to be sitting here right now, knowing that I'm flying home tomorrow, it doesn't feel like the result that I didn't envision this, that's for sure. So it's a flat feeling.
I know it's a little bit uncomfortable to talk about, but whatever you can say, how have the conversations in the last few days been around the camp and the team?
Hasn't been a lot said. Hasn't been a lot said yet. I think there will be. We'll dissect it, that's for sure. But currently there's not much you can say, particularly when we have one game left and 4 days to kill. Get through this one and then we'll get home, and I'm sure there'll be a review of it.
Was it tough to kind of get everyone, because obviously the result was pretty one-sided. Was it tough to get everyone kind of motivated for this match, or was there still a lot of pride to kind of play for?
Yeah, there's pride for sure. As I said, we're disappointed, so important that we finished well, and we did. We should dominate these games, and we did tonight, so there's that.
Matt? If
you were asked to explain or give your reasons for what went wrong, where would you put it? Maybe there's a few issues, I'm guessing, but how would you rank it?
Yeah, I guess looking back on the 2 games we lost, Zimbabwe, probably the best wicket that we've had or seen in the whole competition in Sri Lanka. It was really good batting wicket. Daytime it might have slowed up a little bit, but 170 with the top 7 that we have, you would think would be a canter. But being 4 down in the power play put us under pressure, so you look back on that power play, how could we've gone about that a little bit different, and then the Sri Lanka game being 1 for 110 and then getting bowled out for 180. It's, can you marginally improve that to get to 200 and 210 and almost make it a unlosable game if you bowl half decent? Even 180, I think we could have done a little bit better with the ball, but it took the wind out of the sails. I think that last 10 overs with the bat against Sri Lanka, and we probably, Nasanka, we get him out and bowl a bit better to him, it might potentially look a bit different. But I think looking back, it's probably just under pressure. We've been able to do it in bilateral series. You look back 6 months ago to the West Indies, we won 5-0 and we played unbelievable cricket. Guys hit the ball out of the park, and you can look back and say that was probably hardly any pressure compared to what we come up with in a World Cup. And once that was on the line, we weren't able to do it, unfortunately. So it's really disappointing.
Does that hurt more because maybe it's a thing Australia as a cricketing team has always been able to pride itself on, that you come to World Cups and almost always perform?
Yeah, I guess we're renowned for being, good tournament play teams, but I think since we won in 2021, we've been, again, we kind of get through the World Cup really disappointed, 2022 and 2024. Particularly those 2 teams, I think we probably should have given it a nudge and get close to winning it. You never know what happens in the end of these tournaments, but the two teams we had in the last two World Cups in particular, I think really disappointing results, and then the way we bounced back and played for the next 18 months to 2 years, played particular brands of cricket to get to the next World Cup, and then again not quite do it when it matters. I think the last 3 days for me was reflecting on how the last three World Cups have gone, how they have with what we've done in between. I think number 2 and number 3 in the world generally behind India. We always give India a run for their money when we play them in bilateral series. Sometimes they beat us, sometimes we beat them. So we're a good team, but then results like this, it's hard to fathom.
There's a bit of a narrative online in particular, I'd say, that Australia doesn't I don't know if care is the right word, but care as much value T20 cricket. Would you refute that? You'd say that's absolutely not the case. Australian cricket as a whole?
It's totally false, yeah. The time that the coaches and the staff put into how we're going to play our T20 cricket and who's going to play each role and our preparation is, I think they'd probably put as much time into that than they would Test cricket. I think potentially even more. I don't know, but potentially even more time, because T20 cricket, one day cricket, everyone's a lot tighter in the world, whereas Test cricket, Australia and top 2-3 teams are quite dominant. So I don't think the work is needed as much. Whereas with this format in particular, it's a lot tighter. So the work is definitely there. It's just I think the Australian public struggle with the fact that they don't get to see much white ball cricket played. We play like 3 to 6 games in the summer, and we do a lot of our work away from Australian time, so they don't get to see the way that we kind of play and have prepared for these World Cups. And we've done some played a lot of really good cricket up until now. So it's disappointing that it's ended like this. But I think that the work and the time is as much effort as the other formats.
And just one more quickly, sorry. It obviously won't affect you going on in the tournament, but we've ended up in this situation where the 4 group winners are all in one side. The 4 who've come second aren't. With this pre-seeding, the next World Cup is in Australia, and logistics and ease for fans to get tickets and things like that is often put forward as a reason for this pre-seeding. Does that need to change?
Great question. I'm not sure. I think it could change, for sure. I think if you win a certain amount of games in your group, you should be playing against the seeds that make sense, and you don't pre-seed franchise competitions. You don't need to do that for that. So the tickets, people who want to buy tickets, they'll buy them if they want to. So I don't necessarily believe that pre-seeding is important. I think in the future, if you finish first and you're in Group A and you're playing against Group B, you should be playing the team that's probably not won as many games. So, yeah.
You could obviously see the gulf between the associate nation and a strong team like you. Obviously, there have been associate nations who have played much better against Test playing in this edition. Could you just send, obviously you have played a lot of cricket, so what a message could you possibly convey to the Omani cricketers who don't have that much of experience, and they've also spoken about the lack of franchise cricket, and it's a very young team. So obviously the difference was very stark, as evident today in the victory, but what possible message could you send across to the Omani team?
I think for any team in particular, you see what Zimbabwe have done. The other teams that have given Test nations a run for their money, I think you don't get better and you don't get used to that kind of step up if you don't expose yourself to it more. And I think, for Oman, for example, they've played us twice in the last years. They've played against some good opponents, so that'll naturally make them aware of how to get better and where they need to be. So I think, you've seen it with Zimbabwe, those got guys who are playing franchise cricket and they're exposing themselves to better cricket. You don't get better at bowling without not bowling. It's the same thing. You don't get better at playing against better opponents without playing against them. That makes sense. So yeah, these competitions and World Cups and franchise cricket are important for that.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.